Welcome to Post Game Podcast. I'm your host, June. What up, Foss?
What's going on, man?
You notice it's a different setting, man. It's a different podcast, but it's a different setting, man. I had a little bit of construction being done in my studio / basement, so everything will be back to normal next week. Hopefully by Monday, they'll be finished. So, but what up, man?
Not much, man. Everything looked different over there, man. You shining today, looking like money, man. What's the deal? Those the birthday buffs? Is that what's going on?
Buffs, man. It's my birthday today, man. I supposed to be I got some stuff. Well, me and the wife got some stuff planned. Her birthday is tomorrow. So we doing something after this. So I didn't want to cancel the show because last night Pistons had a game. And I said, hey, we can do what we got to do after this podcast. Let me get this recorded. Get this out the way. I'll let my boy Foster. I'm sure he ain't gonna mind me not being in the studio, not being in my regular attire. So let's get it, man. We here.
I mean, you're showing me up, but
hey, man, I rarely do that. So when I do it, what I'm saying, it's not on purpose. What I'm saying, it's just wasn't meant to be that way. Today is one of them days. I was gonna wear the buffs if another team that we covered would have, been 6-1 instead of 5-2, but that's another subject.
Fair enough.
We'll leave it there. The Pistons had a opening night. Their season opener was last night, away from home in Miami, and they lost. It was 103-102, but first half really, really bothers me. Now, I'm sitting here with Jody Foster, and Jody was putting something together for me. And he's listening, and I'm watching. And before the turnover happens, I tell him, the first turnover, I said, the problem with the Pistons is they keep turning the ball over. That's what I've seen all preseason. They're turning the ball over. Continues. So Jody is listening and paying attention, and he hears turnover. And he's like, you jinxed him. I'm like, no, this is the MO for them. Like, the Pistons aren't good enough on either side of the ball, offensive or defensive, to turn the ball over at a high clip. Like, if you're not shooting enough, you're not shooting well enough, and you're turning the ball over, you're decreasing your opportunities, and you're shooting poorly. So you're not going to score. And usually when you turn the ball over, it leads to transition points. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it does, but it usually leads to fast break points or your defense doesn't have a chance to get set. And that's what we saw in the first half. Were you frustrated in the first half like I was, Foss?
Yeah. I mean, it was very evident from the very, very beginning of the game that we weren't taking care of the ball. I honestly, their half-court offense, which has been the Miami Heat's biggest weakness is the fact that their half-court offense isn't very good. I mean, they're a great defensive team, hence partially why we had so many turnovers, but we were able to hold them at bay as far as the half court is concerned. We had a ton of blocks early on. Hero was struggling real bad. The only thing, because for a while early on we hung in the game regardless, but the main reason as to why we weren't winning in the game was because of the fact that we were giving the ball away and it was setting them up for transition buckets. So yeah, it's one thing if your team is just if your team is getting shots up and they're just missing them. It is what it is. But when you don't get that opportunity to actually even attempt the shot, that is frustrating. And with the young team, that's going to happen, I guess.
Yeah, man, that first half was nasty. It was
Yeah.
nasty work, and it was from everywhere. Cade turned the ball over. Everybody turned the ball over. It was just bad passes, stolen passes, uh, just just not taking care of basketball. Now uh, I'm old school, and when I played basketball, my coaches, I had some of the most disciplinary coaches you'd ever could play for.
Right.
Turn the ball over, you sitting on the bench.
Right.
You keep turning on ball over, you're gonna be further down the bench.
Right.
You got to take care of the ball. Take care of the ball. My coach, the last coach I had, he had a rule: turn the ball over, or if you don't shoot when you open, you sitting down.
Yeah.
Not shooting hurts more than what I'm saying than shooting and missing. So you couldn't be scared. You had to fire it up when you had an open shot, and you didn't turn the ball over, or you wasn't
Right.
gonna play. So when I see all these turnovers, it's frustrating. Like, I'm I'm OCD when it comes to turnovers. And then you seen in the second half when they cleaned it up, it's a different ball game. Even though they did get down 19 in the fourth quarter, um, but when they started executing creating turnovers without turnover, they made it a game, and they had an opportunity to win.
We had a couple opportunities to
Had a
win. Yeah.
couple of opportunities, and it's a little different scale with me when it comes to basketball. There's 82 games, close games. I don't get upset over one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 80. It's 81 more. So there's more opportunities. It's not like football when you got 17. NFL is like you got 17 games. You have to make the most of them. So you're going to drop a couple games and move on without thinking about it. Last night, the way they fought back, I was proud. I was proud of them boys. But I'm starting to notice a pattern now. We said it in the show before, Foster. They were fighting back in the fourth quarter a lot in preseason, but they were against third and fourth stringers or people trying to make the team,
Right.
their respective teams. But is this? Do you think it's a result of Monty Williams just coaching till the end? Because it seems like they're fighting to the end. I
Yeah.
know.
I feel like this is a team. Well, for one, I'd like to think that he made some second half adjustments to clean up the issues. Outside of the fact that this is a young team, this is the first game of the year, and they're going to be a little all over the place. But I think that the combination of what we saw in the preseason and what we're watching now, it's obvious that this team is not going to just um, you know check out of the game once we get down. It looks like this is a team that's gonna continue to fight to the very end. And I just hope that as we get more healthy, because of course we didn't start the year full anywhere near close to full strength. As we get healthier, we'll be able to um, fill in some of the voids that were very apparent from the very beginning. So yeah.
I think this is that leads to what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
That stretch, can't even say it. The power forward position that can shoot.
Right.
We're missing that. Missing that. We need to have that in particular position with Bogey. It's going to be sorely missed, but I like what I saw last night. What was the old coach name?
Casey.
I had a problem with the way Casey substituted Cade. his rookie season, and I had a problem with him substituting. Period. Like he would like run to me what seemed like a line shift in hockey. He'd bring 3 or 4 people off the bench at the same time every
Right.
game, and you'd be like, you see 3 or 4 starters sit down at once,
Right.
and then those bench players would play long periods of time, and I was like, I don't like this, don't like it. And then when Cade, and I said last year he played 5 games, he played 12, like you said, but the year before that, his rookie season, Cade would go out in the first quarter and come back at the end of the second. And it seemed like that was the recipe for him every game. And I'm like, bro, why isn't he playing?
Right.
So he sit out through a long period of the third and the fourth. He played at the end of the fourth, but you know, you most of the time you're behind. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like the way Kate, but I do like what Monty Williams is putting together as far as his lineups, and he's working with without 2 players, one a starter, and Monty Morris, who's going to get his minutes. He's going to get his minutes. And you mentioned it to me. He's probably going to take up Killian's minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Killian did okay, but in its entirety, he did okay because
He did okay. He did
he
okay.
peaked up in the second half a little bit, made some shots, but it's a pretty obvious that 30 minutes a game is way too much time to playing him. 15 to 20 of fully, full effort, minutes, I think will be perfect for him. So yeah, I think Monte Morris is going to help with some of that discipline, help the team take care of the ball a little bit, and I think he's going to spread. I think he's going to spread the floor for Cade because he was getting collapsed on yesterday. I think Bogey's going to help with them collapsing on Cade as well. Stewart did shoot pretty well yesterday. I really, really liked the one where he was open on the side, the pump fake, let the defender fly by, and then taking the shot. That seemed pretty advanced. I don't think we've seen something like that before. Because he could have easily faked and then drove to the basket, but he said, "No, I'm shooting this 3."
Right.
Because in his mechanics and his form, the shot looks like it's going in. Sometimes it does airball or slam the backboard depending on where he's at, but he looked pretty comfortable on that flyby right there. So if we continue to see that type of confidence inside and out from Isaiah Stewart, I can't be mad at that because him and Durant had good games yesterday because Miami's they're not very big in the interior as far as, Bam is only like 6'9". Kevin Love is Kevin Love. He's on the tail end of his career. So
Right.
I feel like we were able to exploit that with our youth and our strength inside. So, but Bogey and Morris will only help Cade as far as spreading the floor and giving him some options because Cade was attacking big time yesterday.
Yeah. We'll talk more about Cade in a minute, but Killian, one thing I had noticed about Killian early, and this goes back to his rookie season, was his confidence. He lost his confidence and he was very timid to shoot. His mechanics looked off. Like he didn't want to shoot. And once he started getting a little bit of confidence, you're not scared of him taking his shots now. You want him to shoot now. And he's doing a much better job than what he wants before. I think it's a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? Unless this season he goes crazy, but there's still that something that in the back of my mind is saying if he does that well, he's trade bait. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So, but his confidence level is at a higher level than it's ever been. You saw that evident last year where he was taking shots that you wouldn't think he would take. Now he's trying to get shots.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. If you paid attention to at him early on, his shot looked horrible. It got to the point where he didn't want to shoot. His rookie season, it was bad. It's not so much the case now.
From 3, it's still questionable. He was 0 for 6 last night, but he did knock down some
the mid-range.
The mid-range.
The mid-range, his mid-range shots, his pull-ups, he can get on a streak and hit a few of them.
Yeah.
He missed from deep. He did. But you can he was shooting his rookie year, he shoot from 3 and it would be an air ball. It would hit backboard, nothing else. It looked horrible. He was liable to injure somebody in the first row. That's how bad his shot looked. So, but I don't mind him taking a 3 now.
Yeah.
He looks a lot more confident shooting the ball. And let me go into my rant there, Foster. I got Cade. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna get your buff back. I'm gonna give you your buffs back. You are working your way to getting your buffs back. I snatched your buffs during the preseason for not playing and not showing me anything and looking lackadaisical. Last night, 30 points, 9 assists. Keep on. Your buffs, they're going back. I'm gonna make sure you get your buffs, bro.
He played good defense too. I like what I saw defense.
Did you see the steal he got, the last one?
The last one, I'm sure I saw it, but
he wasn't looking at the ball. He was facing his defender, and he just stuck his arm out. He baited him into that pass, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's great play.
Yeah, I recall it now. Yeah,
he was looking at his defender. He had his back, and he was looking at the corner of his eye. And when he threw the pass, he just stuck his arm. He saw it. He baited him into throwing that pass.
Yeah, smart player. Yeah,
he's a very smart player, and he didn't look lackadaisical last night. He looked like he was trying to get to his spot.
Yeah,
and he was getting there. I mean, he shot 13 of 27. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll take that every time. You can shoot 13 for 27 every night if you want.
I want to see him hit some, because honestly, what made it so, because I'm thinking, because as we watch the game, it's like, dang, he only ended up with 30. He didn't shoot one free throw the entire game. Imagine if he had got to the line 10 times. He would have.
Now, mind you, Foss, he shot 13 of 27.
50, 49%, basically.
But
50.
Remember, it was that last shot counts, right? Did he get that shot off before the buzzer?
I believe so. It wasn't close.
And it was damn near half court with 2 people draping over him.
Yeah.
So prior to that, he's 50%. You can shoot 50% every night, bro.
Yeah.
You can shoot as many times as you want if you're shooting at 50%. I'll take that.
He just needed some help out there, honestly. There wasn't really, Stu, Durant, I think, were the next closest scorers to him. But they're not close to. They're not what you would want to be your second or third options. You really want somebody else to step up and be, a secondary option for him.
Right.
But yeah, that's hopefully where Bogey and hopefully, Ivy had a pretty bad game. Hopefully Ivy can contribute to that as well, because he's.
Imagine last night if Ivy had a decent game. We win that game
for sure.
Yeah. We win that game last night. But before we go any further, let's take a pause for our ads, and we'll be right back. Post game podcast. We are back. Boss, Who was the next leading scorer? Was it Duran?
Let's see. Duran has 17.
And he shot 70-something% from the field.
Yeah, he's pretty much dunking that bad boy.
Hey, that's where you need to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I'll take that 17 points a game, and I'll take that shooting percentage every night.
Yeah.
One or the other. You don't have to do both, but it would be nice. We know he's not going to shoot 73% all year, but 17 points, I'll take that. Because there's not really, you don't go to him in the post. All his points are basically putbacks and lobs. So I'll take that. We needed another scorer last night. Stu, as much as I used to want to hate on him, he's a hustler, man.
Yeah, he's gonna work for sure.
He's gonna work, and there was a couple times where he could have settled. There was one possession he could have settled for a jump shot, a three, but instead he backed his man down and did a baby hook and got two.
Yeah,
and even the announcer said, he's like, now he would have took that jump shot last year. He's patient and he gets the two. He gets inside the paint and he shoots two. And it was like, as much as I used to hate on Stu, like, man, we got to keep Stu around. You got to keep him active because he's going to hustle. He's going to give it 100% every time he's on the floor.
Yeah.
And I think if Ivy plays better, that game that's a dub. Who was next?
After Stewart?
After Stewart. Was it Burks?
It might have been Bagley. Okay, Bagley had 8, Burks had 7.
Okay.
Well, Hayes had 10. Hayes had 10. Technically,
Can you be mad if Hayes scores 10? I know he missed 6 threes.
If he's starting and averaging 30 minutes, 10 is not a lot because you can make 10 points in 5.
Isn't that a lot for Killian though?
But as far as the minutes wise, you look at top-notch teams, guys that's playing 30 minutes a game,
15, 20.
They're scoring at least, because that's what we needed. I mean, Asar, a great defensive game. He only had 4 points.
He missed a couple of shots around him. They was contested though. It wasn't like they were just in the paint where he just missed.
Yeah. He was a little sloppy out there. He had 2 turnovers, but I feel like he just kind of coughed it up off the dribble. They're definitely giving him the freedom to bring the ball up and handle it, and he's just got to get used to that pro speed as far as just getting comfortable with this. So we knew his offensive game was not what was behind his defense. So we understood that, but when it's all said and done, if Cade is to continue to excel and do better, it's only going to help if he's got guys around him that will keep their defenders honest. Because if Killian's not making his jump shots, Asar's not making his jump shots, they will take their chance at collapsing on Cade, with the chance that Killian might make one once every 4 times.
Oh, they're gonna force Cade. They're gonna force the others to make shots. They're gonna stop Cade from shooting and double him, and you notice they were doubling him a lot off. Trying to make him give up the ball.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, a couple possessions it worked. First half, it was a turnover, or what I'm saying, or they didn't get into their offense on time and had to throw up some jump.
Yeah.
So I do like what Killian can do nowadays, but game's tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night. And a back-to-back too.
That's another way, right?
Yep. And then the home opener is on Friday. Yep.
home openers on Friday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Oh God, the home opener is on Saturday. I'm
Okay. Who they play tomorrow?
the Hornets.
They always have a difficult time with the Hornets.
Who haven't
Always.
we? Who is easy for us in the last couple of years? Because
I mean, but
I feel you though. Because I can recall.
Okay, there's certain teams that you expect, that Pistons to have a hard time with. I expect us to have a shot with Charlotte, but they look like superstars every time we play them. Like, what's the guy? The guard.
What Ball?
Not Ball. Ball gets his too, but it's
Rozier.
Rozier. He cuts up on the Pistons every time they play.
He dropped 25 or something yesterday.
Hey man,
Rozier is tough. I don't
when
know.
Rozier was playing for Boston,
right?
I remember I'm saying he's going to be a free agent. Get him.
Oh,
we need him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted him in Detroit then.
Yeah.
But didn't work out. He went to Charlotte. He's a baller, man.
Yeah, he just puts the ball in the basket. He don't do a whole lot else, but he's a bucket.
Remember when he played for Boston and Kyrie got hurt?
Oh, he went.
They were in the playoffs, and he went crazy.
I think he was a rookie. Was he a rookie then, or was he in a second year?
He was young.
Yeah,
he was young, but he stepped up and he went crazy. I think that kind of made Kyrie expendable.
Right, but didn't he leave soon after?
I don't know, but they got rid of Kyrie first.
Right, yeah. Kyrie has moved around his whole career. He's been a whole bunch.
Did you get a chance to watch him play last night in Dallas?
I did. Yeah, because
we're not gonna spend a bunch of time on talking about anybody else, but
yeah. Kyrie was back to, but Luka shut the door.
Luka was Luka, and
that's gonna be another not fun game to watch, but it'll be cool because Cade's from Dallas and has a similar makeup to Luka, so I know that's a matchup that he circles on his calendar. I would assume.
Yeah, Luka was being Luka last night.
Yeah, Luka. Yeah, he made a shot last night, and I don't even know how much English he was saying, but he said, "I'm here now," or something like that. He was he was
doing the one leg. He was doing the Dirk. He was shooting the Dirk Nowitzki. He had the one leg. Then when it was clutch time, I was like, "Oh man, this is just too much."
Yeah,
they are too much. Wemby looked good. He just fouled early.
Yeah, foul trouble, big time.
He'll learn that. He'll learn that.
Yeah, because they're gonna try to bait him into because he's gonna get his blocks. That's just gonna happen. I saw him block Kyrie on a jumper.
That wingspan is something else.
They definitely gonna try to get into that body and and bait him into some silly fouls because he is a.
So somebody said last night, and I forgot who I was talking to, but they said Wemby ain't nothing but Yao Ming. I said Yao Ming couldn't handle.
Heck no,
Yao Ming couldn't shoot like that. No,
y'all could shoot a little bit, but
not like that though.
Pushing the ball up the court, throwing it through little men. Like how you throw it through a dude's legs and you're 7'5"? How does that even happen?
Hey, Wemby can ball. Wemby can ball. He's not Yao Ming. He's more closer to Kevin Durant than he will ever be Yao Ming.
And Yao Ming was a bigger dude. People don't realize Yao Ming was about 300 pounds. Wemby is a little fella.
Yeah. Yao Ming.
As little as you can be at 7'5".
But I'm going to tell you something about Yao Ming. First time he played against Shaq, he was going crazy in the first half. Second half, Shaq made some adjustments. And then I'm like, Shaq ain't buying this in the second half. And then he interviewed Shaq. And Shaq said, I just had to learn how he played. And it was downhill every time he played Shaq then.
Yeah.
That first game, first half, he got down against Shaq.
Yeah.
But he said Shaq made an adjustment at halftime. There was no more.
And that's why Shaq is Shaq.
That's why Shaq is Shaq, man. I was a big time Shaq fan. I didn't care where he played at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big time Shaq fan. When he went to the Lakers, I said, "Uh-oh." I said, then he went to the Miami, and I said, "Uh-oh." So, but back to our beloved Pistons. My bad.
Right.
Got kind of, I got kind of carried away. And we play Charlotte, and Charlotte poses a problem because I think they're deeper than the Pistons
You think so?
roster wise.
Right now, maybe.
Right now,
Right
I'm
now.
talking about what we have right now. Without our two injured players, that's probably, you can say that every night. Without Monty and without Bogey, probably can say that every night.
Yeah.
So I like their you know what? I had a player mixed up. I thought I was getting them mixed up with Orlando. They don't. I was thinking that they had the player from Duke, but they don't.
You talking about
Ranchero,
Banchero?
yeah, whatever.
Nah, they got
For somehow reason, I was thinking he played for Charlotte, but he played for Orlando. They're not.
They'd be sweet. Yeah.
They would be. It would be insane. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fair. But I know they got Franz Wagner.
You talking about Orlando? That's who Orlando got.
Yeah, and what you call it? So they're going to be good, but Charlotte poses a different. I think they're deeper at guard. They're very guard heavy.
Yes, yeah. So I'm looking at the roster right now. So
Tell me what on their roster.
I'm cheating a little bit, but
no, honestly, you do your research, bro.
So yeah, okay. They got LaMelo Ball and Rozier at the as far as the starters.
That's crazy. That's a crazy backcourt. I'm sorry.
They got the rookie Brandon Miller. He's a small forward though. He's a 3.
Yeah.
But as far as I don't see the other two guards that played yesterday was Maladon, who you may not know, and then Nick Smith Jr. played 40 seconds.
Who?
What's that name? Nick Smith Jr. Did I get that right? It's N Smith. Yeah, Nick Smith Jr. That's actually a rookie though. He was drafted last year. Not Dennis Smith, but Nick Smith. Actually, Charlotte's team is not that. I mean, I got
them mixed up. I got the teams intertwined. That's why
Charlotte. They actually said is probably going to be one of the worst teams. Obviously, Miles Bridges is supposed to be playing, but he done messed up. So they could have been a little bit better off. But actually, Charlotte, although they did beat Atlanta yesterday, Charlotte is could possibly be worse than one of the teams that people are saying is probably going to be worse than the Pistons this year, honestly. Washington had a good game. PJ Washington had 25 yesterday. Yeah. And Ball had a double-double, but this is one of those games that we need to just get a dub out the way. Obviously, we played a super tough team that went to the finals last year on the road. So understandable that we might slip and fall a little bit with them. But Charlotte is one of those winnable games that we got to just
feel better about it.
Yeah, just so that we feel like because getting that first win out the way, even though we won the first game of the year last year. I don't know if you remember, but Isaiah Stewart hit a 3.
Came back and it was a comeback victory.
Yeah, against the Magic. But got to get that first win off the board, man. Especially because I don't know what people's expectations are. I think they vary from lottery team to potential play-in team. It just kind of depends on who you ask and how how optimistic they're feeling. But nah, Charlotte's definitely a winnable game, and hopefully Terry Rozier doesn't get off too crazy on us because he tends to do that.
I got mad and I text you during the game and I said 20 and 62.
Oh yeah. I couldn't fight you too tough on that one because we
we
were
was
probably
down
down
like we
20
was down
points.
19, bro.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I said
Yeah, that was
20 and 62. This is what it is gonna be, man.
yeah. No,
20 and 62.
I hope not. Cade looks really good. You know, it's very encouraging that he dropped 30 points and was, leading the charge as we nearly knocked off the NBA, the Eastern Conference champ. So
When was the I mean, of course, that's a tough question to ask now. I was gonna ask when the last time he hit 30, but he didn't play but 12 games last year, so
he might have caught a 30 last year. Before he not one time.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. He
I don't think so.
definitely got a good mid-20s, 25, 26, something like that, but probably not. It's probably been a while. Probably been a good while. 30 is like the most ever?
Wasn't that his career high? Didn't they say that last night?
I don't know. It may have been. It may have been his career high.
Man, I think they said last night it was career high.
With no free throws. That's wild.
With no free throws. That's crazy. And he usually gets to the free throw line, and he's a very good free throw shooter.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that we complained about his rookie years that he didn't get any calls. So hopefully as the, how he's now getting into his, further into his career, he's going to start getting those veteran and star calls, hopefully. Obviously not
He
last
shot
night.
a lot of mid-range jumpers though.
And of course you're not going to get many calls on mid-range jumpers, but if that's his bread and butter, I'm not mad at that because that's kind of a lost art in this game.
It's one of those things where you get away. I mean, you have to give up something. You can't be a reliable mid-range shooter and get to the free throw a lot. It just doesn't happen. You want them to shoot that mid-range because that's two.
Right.
The good mid-range shooter, that's two.
Right.
So definitely one, but you like to see him at least get to the free throw line 4 or 5 times a game.
Yeah, Butler leads the league he's another mid-range guy. And I think they said he was somewhere upwards in the leader of the league.
He does like a little everything though. He does a little everything though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dangerous off the dribble and he can get to the rack when he wants to.
It's a solid dude though. Like he can go in there seeking contact and and absorb it and get the bucket as well. He did that a couple times. So
who got down for Miami last night? I can't even remember.
Honestly, I want to say Butler and Bam for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think it was a pretty joint effort. I know Hero struggled early in the game, but I think he ended up getting pretty busy.
Yeah, he got crazy in the third quarter, and I think he got crazy in the third quarter, maybe.
Yeah, Bam was leading scorer with 22. Butler had 19.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Duncan Robinson! Oh my god, he only had 15 when it was all said and done. But if y'all had told me he dropped 25, I'd been like, yeah.
He was hitting threes, going around screens, and
that's what it was.
And step backs. He went around a screen one time and then stepped back and hit a three. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, the backdoor screens were killing us. I don't know who was checking them, but
he was getting to the rim as well.
Yeah.
He got to the rim a couple times. I'm like, why?
And that's really not his game. He's a spot up 3-point shooter. That's what he got paid to do. But he's definitely expanded his repertoire, and rolling off a good screen. You ain't got to be the most fast or jump the highest. You gotta just utilize the little space that you need to make it happen. But yeah, Hero had 16. Kevin Love had some clutch threes as well. It was a pretty joint. The Heat last year were ranked towards the bottom as far as offense, which is crazy to think about when you consider the fact they made it all the way to the finals. But that team takes care of the ball. They play defense, and you ain't got.
That's why they had trouble with Denver, because Denver was the offensive juggernaut.
Yeah,
and
No hero.
they couldn't match the firepower.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had Vincent, and Vincent went crazy the series before, but not against Denver.
They had Max Strus too.
And yeah, they went crazy against Boston, but they did not go crazy versus Denver.
No, they shut him. They shut him.
They shut Vincent down.
Fell short again.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take another break, Foster. So we take these breaks because we have ads. So when you're listening to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, you'll hear these ads. And those ads are a lot longer than the 5 or 6 second pause that you see here if you're watching. So we have a transition so you don't have to sit here and look at me and Foster just look dumb in the camera without saying anything.
And we would.
No, so we added a transition. So when you hear that transition or you see that transition, that means we're preparing for ads. When I edit the podcast, I have to insert ads during those transitions. So we have to take an occasional break and do that. So the good people at FFSN wants us to make sure that we're including our ads. And do us a favor. If you miss this show, if you're late to this show, please go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, any of the streaming services, and download the episode and listen to it. Or check us out on Motor City Metrics and share, like, comment, do all that stuff. We could use the help with the algorithm. So check us out there. And we'll be doing this show once a week. We still haven't came up with a day, and it looks like it's going to be Thursday. Not sure, Foster. I'm going to leave it up to you, though. I'm going to let you pick the day because obviously we have Monday nights where we do Bleachers to Speakers with the Detroit Lions football team. We cover that on Bleachers to Speakers on Monday night, Motor City Metrics, and Bleachers to Speakers on Spotify and Apple, all the streaming services. So we'll come up with a day. Matter of fact, after this week, at some point, we'll nail down a day where we have this show once a week and a specific day and time. And then football season will be over at the top of the year. And we can actually move this to Mondays if you want, Foster, when that happens. But we can talk about that offline. But anyway, our beloved Pistons will be playing tomorrow. What do you want to see tomorrow, Foster?
I've been waiting for you to ask this question.
I gotta ask it.
Yeah. I love what I saw defensively, especially in the half court. So defense is something that I've been trying to hit home for the last the whole entire preseason. We saw some spooky efforts, as far as, oh man, it's early. It's early for that, but that's fair. So defense was one thing that I was preaching the entire time. Even I've seen Ivy improve defensively. I'm seeing him try to pick guys up close to 90 feet and put some pressure there. So I love to see what we've seen defensively. It's more of an offense thing now. I'm looking for more people to assist with spreading that floor and opening things up for Cade. I need to see a better offensive game from Ivy. That was about as bad of an effort as I think I've ever seen offensively from Ivy, at least in recent history. Yeah. I'm looking for Sasser, he scored 8 points, but only played 10 minutes. I'm looking to see.
He played pretty good in the first half.
Yes. And he even, I think they said that Monty says that I would have liked to given him more minutes considering how well he was in that short stint. So yeah, I definitely want to see Sasser get more minutes. I want to see Ivy assist with the scoring. And beyond that, I want to see Joe Harris. I want to see Joe Harris get involved. He didn't play very much the first game, but I want to see him score his first couple points and for right now, I think that he's in the rotation because of the fact that Bogey is out of it. So I want to see him as a veteran, step in and fill that void, because he said that I don't know how much I'm going to play this year, but I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to do my part, and this is a great opportunity for him to get some early minutes while Bogey is sidelined. So mostly offense, honestly. Oh, and the turnovers, taking care of the ball and not putting so much pressure on the defense by creating those shorthanded situations off of steals, and throwing the unforced turnovers where we just throw the ball out of bounds. Like we got to clean up against a team that is very much so inferior to the Miami Heat.
Well, the two things I wanted to see that you already talked about, and I'm definitely just going to reiterate and say what I have to say. Ivy. Now, this is I did this with Cade last week. I'm talking to you, Ivy. I've been advocating for you. I've been saying you need to start.
Right.
I've been fighting for you. Why is Killian starting over Cade? Over Ivy. I've been saying that. You're making me look bad, bro. And this changes tomorrow. Okay?
It's got to.
Okay. Your buffs are on a short leash. I will have to repossess those buffs.
Did he lose his powers when he cut his hair?
Hey man, he gonna lose his buffs. That's what he gonna
cut
lose.
That off too.
Hey, bro, check this out. You gotta fight, bro. You got to get back into the graces of the starting lineup, and what you did last night is not gonna cut it. I give you grace. It was one game, one regular season game. Yeah. Get to the rack. Quit settling for a jumper. Don't turn the ball over. Get to the rack. Great things will happen. I promise you. You got to do better. The second point, got to see more Cade. Got to see more. You don't have to score 30 every night, but you got to be a threat. You got to be a threat. That was an extra point I threw in there. But the turnovers. Got to do a better job at taking care of the ball. The Pistons aren't good enough offensively to squander opportunities. Okay? You're already not hitting shots like you should, and you're squandering chances to score by turning the ball over. And defensively, you're not creating enough turnovers to turn the ball over like that. You know what I'm saying? So take care of the ball. That's what I want to see. I want to see better taking care of the ball throughout the game, because they cleaned it up, especially in the fourth quarter. Second half, they did a much better job in the first half. But clean up the turnovers, and hopefully they paid attention to that, because they see if they don't turn the ball over, they're a pretty decent team. So that's what I expect to see tomorrow night. And then Saturday's a back-to-back. Somebody gonna sit down Saturday, bro.
As far as one of their players, or
one of the starters is going, because that's just the MO of the NBA nowadays.
You're talking about as far as Chicago or us?
Us.
Oh no, come on, man.
Bro, they sit. Look, who played it?
We ain't got no stars to
Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Ain't Booker sitting down tonight?
He's a star. He's one of those load management star guys. Not so much him, but
come on, man. Load management. It's just the way of the league. I don't believe in load management in the second game of the season.
No, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they say he injured his foot or whatever the case, and Beal hasn't played yet. That can't be low. You start the first game of the year. Even Kawhi Leonard and Paul George played the first game of the year. But
I just don't like today's league, man.
it's crazy. It's crazy because they sit them at the end of the year too. It's like, damn, we get a good 40.
Jalen Rose had a good point. He said, you should not sit players that are playing at home. If they play at home, they have to play unless they're on the injured list. If they're playing away and you want to rest them for load management, cool. But your home stars got to play in front of the people that's paying to fill the seats.
It'd be nice.
It would be nice. I would hate to buy a Pistons ticket and Cade is sitting down due to load management.
He missed so much games for legit.
He's had it already.
Yeah, he didn't. When he was 19, he was being he
sat down for 70 games last year. That was load management.
I got tired of seeing all the sweet little outfits that he had. I'm like, man, it would be nice to see him in a jersey, like a Pistons jersey.
I tell you what, I'll do you one better. I go to a Piston game and you sit down for load management, I'm taking the Buffs. I don't care if you had 40 points for a week straight. The Buffs, I'm repossessing the Buffs.
He better check in with you to like, is this a good game to miss? Because
man, he better hit the ASG line, man, or something. He better call. Something got to give, bro. Well, that about wraps it up for today's show. Falls. I know it's Thursday. It's Thursday night football coming on tonight.
Should be. I don't even know who's playing.
Who cares? The NBA is here. You know what I mean? And the Lions ain't playing.
Kind of feel that way.
It's like they may not even have a Thursday night game because the NBA is back. Well, okay. But I think it is. So, but either way, we got football and basketball tonight, so we can relax, check out some games, man, and good luck to the Pistons, man. I'm really anxious about to see what I want to see if they're consistent. I want to see if this, you know what I'm saying? I'd hate to see the Pistons go in tomorrow night game and just look horrible all game.
That'll just break me.
That's deflating, man.
Early, it'll just break me. No.
I'll be texting you 18 and 64. That's what it'd be like. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
It's too early to just know that's coming. Like, it's a long year. It's a long basketball. Basketball season is a long season, especially when you're getting spanked just game after game after game.
But let me ask you this, Foster. What do you think about the little tournament that they're doing in Vegas?
I like any opportunity for these because we talk about load management. We talk about how these teams really only ramp it up for certain parts of the year. If there's any incentive for more stars to play more games and for teams to have incentives to win, even the teams that are, possibly tanking for the top draft pick, any incentive for them to try hard, I'm all for it. I don't know. I don't see the negatives that everybody else sees and them having tournaments in the middle of the year. So
it's not a negative. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, the games are not added to the schedule.
Right.
So they're still playing 82 games. They're just making the games in the middle of the season a little bit more competitive and meaningful with the opportunity for you to win like a trophy or something mid-season.
And it's East versus East and it's West versus West. So it's relevant. These are relevant games, supposed to be relevant games anyways, because these are the teams that you're competing to get into the playoffs.
They want to make it more entertaining for the fans to have this tournament in Vegas. And it's just, I don't see anything negative. Now, if they stop the season and said, okay, at game 32, we're going to play a tournament. Then we're going to resume back. Yeah. And after the tournament to game 31, then it would be a problem. But these are regular season games. They're considered regular season games at the end of the day. You just have an opportunity to win a trophy and be recognized and to play on a national stage where I think probably just about every game will be televised. So I think it's a good thing.
I ain't mad at it.
I think it's a good thing. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here for us?
Pause, but ball security, man. Take care of the ball, man. All these turnovers, man. That was sickening. That was sickening.
It's sick that we have to say pause before we talk about ball security during a basketball podcast.
Hey, we can barely say too much without having to clean it up. So.
The world is changing. Anyway, thank you for tuning in for post-game podcast. We'll be here next week talking about whatever the Pistons did these last two games, these next two games, the home opener and tomorrow night's game. We'll cover that. And if they have any games after that before we air, we'll talk about that too and what we've seen. So thank y'all for tuning in. I am June. It's my boy Foss, and we are Post Game Podcast.